Robert Spencer here for Jihad Watch, a program of the David Horowitz Freedom Center and for the Center for Security Policy, with the reason why the struggle against jihad terrorism has gone on for 15 years since the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks and is likely to go on for a great deal longer. During the recent 15th anniversary commemorations of 9/11, among all the reminiscences and eulogies and encomia, virtually no one attempted to explain why this war has taken so long. There's a simple reason this topic wasn't discussed. Among our political and media elites, no one knows the answer. No one wants to admit that this war isn't just 15 years old, it is 1,400 years old. Even the most dire estimates of exactly how long this is going to take have fallen wide of the mark. General David Petraeus said in 2010 that it could take another 10 years to defeat the Afghan insurgency. Now, do you really think the Taliban is likely to be disbanded and Afghanistan likely to be a stable, functioning republic by the year 2020? In 2007, Britain's security chief, Admiral Lord Alan West, said that it could take 30 years to defeat terrorism in the United Kingdom. Do you really think that by 2037, Britain will be peaceful and free of jihad terrorists? The very idea is preposterous, and it is preposterous for the same reason that 15 years after 9/11, no one knows why this strange war has lasted so long. Well, West said more in that 2007 interview. He stated, "I now realize that we are talking about a generation, and by that I would say 30 years. That doesn't mean necessarily that we're going to stay at a severe level of threat for all those years, but to be able to say one has absolutely changed the mindset and thought of people is going to take a generation." Now, Lord Alan West nailed the answer there, but nobody seemed to notice, because nothing whatsoever is being done in Britain or anywhere else to, as West said, change the mindset and thought of people. And that is why, 15 years after 9/11, the West is weaker and more vulnerable than ever. The entirety of the Western intelligentsia, the totality of our political and media elites, steadfastly refuse to acknowledge exactly what the mindset and thought of terrorists really is and where it comes from. Because of that refusal, policies that don't deal with the actual problem keep being applied and reapplied at the cost of thousands of American lives, billions of American dollars, and we have nothing to show for this expenditure besides a sharp and continuing loss of American power and prestige. The jihadis who struck the U.S. on September 11th, 2001 have made such immense advances since then, not because they're strong or clever or capable, but because we are weak, short-sighted, and irresolute. Resolute not fighting them, but in maintaining our denial about who they are and what they want. The denial is so complete that we have taken numerous steps to actually enable them to achieve their goals. The billions gifted to the Islamic Republic of Iran and the welcoming of the massive Muslim migrant influx are just two of the most recent examples. On the 15th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, instead of stories about the jihad threat and how it can be defeated or at least contained, the media posted articles that would give an uninformed observer the impression that it was 3,000 Muslims who were killed on 9/11. The media preoccupation on the 9/11 anniversary was almost entirely with Muslims as victims. AOL had a headline, "Muslim Americans Still Struggle with Hate Crimes 15 Years After 9/11. The Huffington Post lamented, "For many Muslims, especially those born after September 11th, Islamophobia seems to be a fact of life." And the Washington Post ran a piece by Representative Keith Ellison, the Muslim congressman from Minnesota, saying, "I'm the first Muslim in Congress. I believe America can beat Islamophobia. 15 years after 9/11, American Muslims have seen both progress and peril." Now, after Fort Hood and Boston and Garland and Chattanooga, San Bernardino, Orlando, Paris, Brussels, Nice, New York, and St. Cloud, and so very many others, this myopia is ludicrous to the point of being grotesque, and it is the key reason why this war drags on 15 years after 9/11. Millions unthinkingly accept the dogma that to speak honestly and accurately about the jihadis' motives and goals is to descend into racism and bigotry and to endanger innocent Muslims. 15 years after jihadis murdered nearly 3,000 Americans, it is still almost unheard of for there to be an honest discussion of jihadi motives and goals in the mainstream. The Free West is dug in, wholeheartedly committed to denial, willful ignorance, and policies that are self-defeating to the point of suicidal. In light of that, the wonder is not that this war has lasted so long, but that we have held out so long. Unless the political landscape changes considerably and this denial is decisively rejected and discarded, much darker days are coming. I'm Robert Spencer.